technically traveled. He traveled twice. We didn't get that one. This was 2010. Okay? Let's look at the next one. What do you got? Who hasn't traveled? Come on. Only 2 of you got traveled? Who doesn't have travel? Okay, why don't you have a travel?
I didn't see it move foot. Like, I didn't see him leave the ground and come back to the ground. Like, I think both his feet stayed. Like, one of his foot stayed on the ground at all times.
Okay, why don't you have a travel?
I think just one of those ugly plays that looked weird. How he stopped real quick, but he actually traveled.
Okay, why do you have a travel?
Looked like he touched both hands with the ball, then walked a little bit and passed it.
Okay, what about you?
I was going to say that. It looked like he took steps while holding the ball.
Okay, so go back to my rule terminology. Which part of that, what do you think he did by rule?
Broke the pivot foot.
So, say that again?
He broke the pivot foot.
What's that mean?
Like he swapped back and forth.
Okay, so he picked it up and returned it back to the floor, is what you're saying. Okay, let's take a look at this again. Remember, ugly does not equal violation. Okay, so he's dribbling, it ends, right? So which foot right now is his pivot foot? Right foot's pivot foot, correct? Circle that. Okay? Drag this along. He never leaves the ground and he passes. And we call it travel. Now, good for us for looking for it. Let's watch this again in fast motion. He's going, stop. Not a travel. So the correct call would have been nothing. Blue would have scored 2 points. So it didn't, you guys thought it left the ground and came back down? Did you guys see it not come down?
Yeah.
So we're all believers, 100% not a travel, right? Okay. Any other questions on travel? Keys or what? Go ahead.
I had one of my games that a guy airballed it and got a rebound. How do you tell if they're actually trying to shoot and it's an airball or if they're just throwing it to themselves? Because obviously if you shoot and you get your rebound, it's not a travel, but if you throw it to yourself, it is.
Your judgment.
Okay.
And that's really the only thing I can tell you. I would say when in doubt, it's a shot.
Okay.
Because by rule, you know, if it's a legitimate shot attempt. Now I think that if he doesn't have any defender and he just lobs it over top of that guy and goes and gets the ball, obvious that they're passing to themselves, right? But if there's any doubt, it's a shot.
Okay. But you could pass it to yourself off the backboard, right?
Yeah, I mean technically you could do something like that, but you could say that that's a shot attempt. So I don't know how many intramural players are smart enough to do that.
I saw it was Kimball Walker did it. He played it and threw it against the backboard and then kind of
Right, but he cannot do anything else once he obtains, like, he can't start a new dribble with that. So he probably threw it up and jumped, right? Did he jump and dunk it or something?
Just laid it back.
Laid it back in, yeah. Go ahead.
So when a player does air ball and then they go for the air ball and nobody's touched it and hasn't touched the rim, that's not a call.
It is illegal play in high school and college basketball as long as it is a legitimate shot attempt. They can go recover their own air ball and just not have to do anything. That is definitely a myth of basketball. In the NBA, that is a rule. But so I think that's a TV thing that people say. That makes sense?
Yeah, what is the call though when
Nothing. Like if they airball their shot and they go get the ball, nothing. It's a legal play. It's like a rebound. Statistically, it would be considered a rebound. No, it's not. Nope. Any other questions on that?
What about like you're dribbling and you throw it over their head and you run under it and jump like?
That would be a travel because, like, here, come here, Josh. We'll reenact what you're saying. So, we move smooth so we don't hit that. Okay. So I'm dribbling, I throw it up, and I go get it like that.
Yeah, but like you throw it up, like it's going towards it, but you still jump up before it goes in. Never mind. I mean that's hypothetical, correct?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Whatever.
Right. I mean, did I shoot? All your judgment is did he try to shoot it or did I throw it over his head? I mean, that's what it comes down to. Anything else? Okay. Perimeter stuff. talk about hand checks. It is not legal for a defensive player to use their hands to impede the movement of an offensive player from point A to point B. Did it affect their rhythm, speed, balance, quickness? This is a huge officiating terminology. RSBQ, rhythm, speed, balance, quickness. Josh, I'll use you as a somebody again. Okay, so he's my dribbler. Okay, what you'll see often is defenders will use their hands. So if I'm dribbling, okay, and if it's illegal for me technically to do anything with my hand. Now it's not an immediate foul if I don't do anything. So what you're going to use as a guideline is does it affect his rhythm, speed, balance, quickness? So if you're dribbling, and I can impede his progress, affect his quickness or his speed to the basket, then that's a foul. Okay? Anytime I get two hands on a dribbler, just call it right away. Clean those kind of things up. If he goes and I'm right next to him, you'll hear coaches or players say, "Get him off of him, he's riding me, okay? Your determining factor is, does it impact their rhythm, speed, balance, quickness? So keep going. And if I'm just right here and I'm not doing anything, it's not a foul, okay? Now, all of a sudden I do this, and it kind of jerks him, but you'll see it often, then you got a foul. The other one is if Josh tries to beat me on a dribble, and I kind of you'll literally see his torso come up where it freezes them. You guys follow what I'm saying? And then he gets by me. What does that impact? Almost all of those things. Okay, so let's look at a couple plays. Man zone dribbler on that. Okay. So this play is going to be down here on the baseline. Just follow the dribbler. Oops, sorry. What do you guys think? Somebody said really. Okay, first one right here. Okay, here's that move. Does this impact rhythm, speed, balance, quickness?
Yes.
Right there, right? Do you see how it forces 88 to go a different direction? That's illegal. Okay? Now we progress. Is that, in fact, rhythm, speed, balance, quickness?
Yes.
You know, we talked about calling the obvious. Grandma was at the top, or Grandma was sitting up on those stairs right outside the gym. She's screaming for a foul. This is so easy to call, right? Okay, clearly a trip. Another guideline on perimeter plays and dribblers. Rarely, even in the intramural game, do dribblers just fall to the ground on their own. Okay? So if you're running next to somebody and they go to the ground and you're not 100% sure, I would err on the side of foul because 95% of the time you're going to be right. It was probably a trip. This is my new high-def footage. White screen stuff. Okay, watch the dribbler. Obvious foul. Kind of a similar type trip play, right? Gets the knee out in front, impacts the balance. Foul. Okay? Questions on those kind of plays? Yep.
In the post, when somebody's backing down, all the contact down there, what are those when an offensive player is backing down a defensive player and the defensive player basically just putting their elbows up against the back?
Best way to do is do that.